Today I have a video for you that I know is going to change your life. In what ways? Well, it's going to give you the freedom that you have been asking for, the freedom from suffering, the freedom from the victimization and the traps of that voice that is in your head, that voice that isn't yours. Well, a lot of people ask me, well, if it's not my voice, then whose voice is that? And that's what I'm going to talk to you about in this video, because if you can really understand this concept and fully start to live your life in the blessings of this paradigm shift, you will get the freedom that you seek.
You have nobody you need to become. You are already everything you need to be. You just have to let go of everything you are not.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Holda Gueye. I am a board certified physician in the United States, as well as a soulful healer. And that just means that I am dedicated to healing all parts of you. Ultimate wellness in my paradigm and in my programs involves a trinity of care, and that is rebalancing and resetting your physical body, as well as rebalancing and healing your emotional body and your mind body, so that your spirit, the real self, can awaken and shine through. And that's where health, wellness, abundance, happiness, joy, everything lives. So, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if it is not your first time here, then thank you for following this channel. And let me know in the comments in what ways I can help bless you and serve you, because that's what I'm here for. All right, let's get right into what we're talking about today. When I tell people, patients, clients, that you are not this voice in your head and that this voice in your head doesn't belong to you, they always either are confused and some even freak out, and they're thinking, well, are you saying that I'm crazy? Everyone has a voice in their head. Before I really tackle that and answer that question and tell you why it's important to understand the fact that this voice isn't yours, I want you to consider for a moment the times in your life where you had a gut feeling about something. Your intuition basically shared something with you and you just knew something. And I want you to remember if that knowing was a voice talking to you, or was it just a knowing? If you recall this gut feeling accurately, you'll remember that it was just a knowing. It wasn't this entire narration in your head. You just knew, oh, I shouldn't trust this person. I probably shouldn't go here. I don't know what it is, but I just have this feeling that I shouldn't do this. It's just a knowing. When you sit in meditation, if you've really had some very peaceful, powerful, calm, restorative meditation sessions, and I'm hoping that if you're listening to this, that you have, remember how that stillness feels and how good it feels and how you feel so connected and one with everything. That state has no words. There is no narration. And so your true self, your true voice, has no words. I want you to remember that. I'm going to say that again. Your true self has no words. And so, therefore, these words in your head can't possibly be yours. Well, then if they're not yours, then whose are they? We are a perfect design. A perfect design. No matter what anyone tells you out there about the default of the ego and the mistake that nature made by creating the ego. The only mistake is what we have done with the gifts that we were given. Our spirit, your true self, was designed to choose the thoughts that it was going to entertain, but it was going to have access, and it has agreed to have access to all and any thoughts, because this is the only way in which we can co-create. We can choose to create the experiences that we came here to create, for ourselves, for with one another, and to expand this beautiful universal life. And so think of thoughts almost as if they were in these thought bubbles, and they are in similar thoughts, basically stay together, attract more thoughts just like it. And they are dictated by whatever program you're running. So these programs come from your beliefs, your assumptions. And where do these beliefs and assumptions come from? They come from your caregivers, your parents, your teachers, your friends, the movies you watch, the things that you pay attention and spend your time on a daily basis. This creates your program. And so these thoughts that are running in your head are simply from your program. Ever wonder why, when you start thinking, let's say, you're just very jealous about someone and you start thinking a lot of jealousy thoughts, all of a sudden, everything else that ignites jealousy sort of comes. It's almost like a magnet. Now you have more thoughts just like it. Or if you're really angry, there's always more things to be angry about, and all those other angry thoughts come to you. You get very sort of judgy, or you're judging yourself about something, and now you're remembering all the times that you got judged. These thoughts live in almost these sort of thought bubbles, and they're not yours, meaning that they're not your identity. You're simply choosing the thoughts that you're accessing based on your program. Now, the mistake that I shouldn't say a mistake, but the unfortunate thing that has happened with our thoughts is that as a society, we have created a toxic program that is very critical, very judgmental, that hates on yourself, on others, and that isn't plugged into love and acceptance and celebration. And so, because we are so plugged into that sort of toxic program, our thoughts are mirroring that. And these are the thoughts that literally give birth to all the mental health issues that we have. The depression, the anxiety, the panic attacks, the OCD, all of it come from the thoughts of the toxic program. So it's not that you're broken because somebody gave you a mental health diagnosis. It's because your program is toxic. And so the first step is understanding that those thoughts aren't you, right? Because the true you has no words. Your true voice doesn't come with words. And then once you're able to make that separation, you're able to then choose again, choose a new program. And that just starts with choosing new thoughts that are going to align with the kind of life that you are trying to magnetize, with the creations that you are trying to birth into your life and into existence. So if you are noticing that you're feeling really sad or down, pay attention to the thoughts that you're plugged into. Recognize that you are simply plugged into a specific program, and you're going to choose to unplug. You're going to look at that and acknowledge that, oh, I've been doing this for so long, but I don't want this anymore. Just like changing the channel. And just choose. And what choosing means is you're going to start to talk to yourself differently. I love you. I accept you. You're fine. Everything's fine. And it's very different from what some people out there will teach you in terms of sort of trying to rewrite your thoughts, or almost fake it until you make it, right? Because all of those teachings still have you identifying with a thought, because you're trying to transform yourself into, something new by changing the thought that is still you. But what I'm telling you is that those thoughts, that voice in your head is not you. So you're really not transforming yourself into something new. You're simply choosing again. So it's important to first put that initial step of detachment. And this is why meditation is so helpful, so transformative, because it returns you to your true self. This is why presence throughout the day is so helpful, because it gives you a break from this program that is constantly talking, right? When you're in the present moment, you can't worry and ruminate about the past or ruminate and worry about the future. You're just here with yourself. So understand and realize that this voice isn't you. It is a tool that you were given. And it is time to ask your spirit to choose in which way it's going to use it and how it's going to speak to you and to the world. And the way you speak to yourself is the way you speak to the world. So start doing that today. And the way that you're going to recognize your programs is simply by reconnecting to your emotions. Any moment that you're feeling down, simply notice and ask yourself, what program is running? What's this voice talking about? Notice that it's not yours, it's not you, and choose again. And when you're choosing new voices, new words, again, these are still not yours, meaning they're not your identity. They're a tool. Just like you use your fork to eat. You're not the fork. Could be your fork. You could have purchased it, but you're not the fork. And so you're going to start choosing the content of the voice in your head, because it is a tool that we were meant to use to serve us, not to create mental illness. And mental illness began when we started to identify ourselves with that voice, right? It's our voice. They're my thoughts. And so they became you. And those thoughts were negative, all of a sudden you must be broken then. No, your program is broken. And you simply need to recognize that this isn't what you're choosing any longer, and to choose again. So I want you to start applying that and let me know the miracles you start to see happen, the shifts that you start to experience in your daily life. And again, a good tip to really start to connect more with your true voice, the one with no words, is transcendental meditation and practicing presence through all of your habitual acts, brushing your teeth, driving, taking a walk, anything that doesn't require your active mental capacity, you should start implementing presence so that you can connect more with that true voice. So I hope that this was helpful, and let me know how I can serve you. Sending you my warmest love and my brightest light.